This is about living to me, not about death. It's about living while you can and not letting the things own you. I always said, I want to live life and not clean life. And when you have a lot of things, that means you have to clean a lot of things. Hi, my friends. It's 5-Minute Friday, but we're going to do it a little bit differently today. We are going to have a little chit chat, and I'm going to share my thoughts with you on the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning. And this is by Margareta Magnusson. And I know this has been all over the internet for several years. And I'm just going to look and see when this one was published. 2018. I wanted to share just that I went ahead and purchased it and read it just within the last month. I've highlighted some sections that we can chit chat about. I was hoping that there was going to be something earth-shattering. And maybe it wasn't earth-shattering to me because I've enjoyed decluttering and organizing the majority of my life. Now, have I been perfect at it? No. Even Marie Kondo was not perfect at it. If you read one of her books, she talks about how long it's taken her to get to her style and to her technique, and it was through a lot of trial and error. And the great thing about decluttering and organizing is it's not one size fits all. We all have different personalities. Thank goodness, because otherwise we would be boring if we were all the same, right? I'm going to share this with you more so because you might be searching for what's going to work for you. Now, the death in this title is kind of a turnoff for a lot of people. They don't want to talk about death. And honestly, this is about living to me, not about death. It's about living while you can and not letting the things own you. I always said, I want to live life and not clean life. And when you have a lot of things, that means you have to clean a lot of things. So think of it as taking care of things while you are alive and simplifying your life instead of focusing on the word death. Hopefully that sets the stage for our quick conversation. And I'm just going to jump in. She talks about, starting with large items. That's more where you're going to see the impact. And I've actually been helping a friend to declutter her home. And it's true, we started with some coats, we started with blankets and bedding because there was a lot of it and it was taking up a lot of space. And if you can start with big furniture pieces, it's amazing how accomplished you'll feel because you are addressing things that you can see results from pretty quickly. The other thing is not choosing something that's difficult, choosing a area that is easy. So you don't want to start with your sentimental items or your photographs and those things that are going to be really hard to let go of. Maybe you start with underwear or socks. Now, some of y'all might be passionate about your socks, and that's just fine. But start with something that you know is going to be easy, and it's going to be different for everyone. She chose clothes as her first category. I think that can be quite challenging if you have a big inventory of clothes. You decide what's going to work for you. I'm going to quote her in this question specifically, and it is on page 32 of her book. She says, "What are you going to do with all your things when you don't have the strength for or the interest in taking care of them anymore?" And this again is timely because the home that I've been helping to declutter has been one that got out of control because she wasn't feeling well, and she wasn't feeling well for some time. And that's timely of we need to do it while we're young and spry and energetic and can still tackle the things instead of when we can't physically do it ourselves anymore. that keeps us in control. And a lot of decluttering and organization feels better when you are in control of your decisions and your things instead of leaving it to somebody else. I don't want this to sound negative towards the friend that we've been helping. Life happens. There is no judgment here. Just having forced retirement, layoffs, one of the things that I've been understanding from financial advisors is there's 3 stages of life. There's go-go, which is your younger years, your 50s, 60s, early 70s, maybe, when you can just go and you maybe don't have the physical challenges. And then there is logo, which is you still go, but maybe you slow down and you don't go as far or as lengthy of trips maybe. And then the last stage is no-go, when you just either have no will to take big trips anymore, or physically can't. And so we are in our 50s, late 50s, I'm 59, and I'm still in that go-go phase. Who doesn't want to be in a go-go phase? So instead, what the book that she's talking about is when you don't have the strength or interest to care for things anymore, that's your no-go phase, or maybe logo, but let's do it while we physically can. The other thing is, as we're aging, things that are over-cluttered collect dust, or if there's things on the floor, rugs or boxes or books, now they're a tripping hazard. So this is about our health and well-being as well. It's not just about possessions. I love this quote too. Your loved ones want to inherit nice things from you, not everything. So it's great if you can ask that question of who else in my family would appreciate this, know the story behind it, or will want it. That book that is so important to you may not be important to them. That photo that's so important to you, they might be fine with it being posted in a family Facebook page and not having a physical copy of it, but having an electronic copy of it. So we just need to think about things a little bit differently. One of the other points is about downsizing. Now, we didn't downsize, but if you do, ideally, you don't want to rush through it. You want to be able to take your time. Maybe you decide that at this stage of life, you're good. I'm good, but I still don't want all of this stuff. So you can go ahead and start. Before we physically moved up here, I spent a year going through every single drawer, every closet, every cabinet, and saying, do I want to move it? And the answer was no to a lot of things. So I donated a lot of things because I didn't want to move it. Even if you're not moving, it's still a good question to ask, because then it's going to tell you what value does that have, or what anchor does that have? Is it weighing you down? Aging's not for the weaklings, she says. We always say weak of heart, right? And that's no joke. I am still struggling with this hand, 7.5 weeks post-surgery, which apparently is not supposed to be hurting me, but is. And life throws us curveballs, and it's not for the weak of heart. So is cluttering and organization going to be a piece of cake, walk in the park? For some of you, yes. For others, maybe you're watching because you are looking for some inspiration or a little bit of help. I have a lot of playlists on decluttering and organizing, so hopefully one of those will speak to you and might help inspire you to tackle an area of your home. So let's talk about books. The friend I just helped did declutter books, and she does reread some of her books, and that's perfectly fine. Or if you have rarer books that you want to hang on to, that's fine as well. But I think you have to ask yourself the realistic question of, do I need all of these books? And what is it about them that is giving me comfort? How many do you have that are unread? And is it realistic for you to be reading them? Would you read them in a year, 2 years, 5 years? One of the ideas that I really loved in here was the idea of a neighborhood swap. And maybe we live in a small town, maybe it's a small town swap. I know there's some towns around here that do a trunk sale. So it's around their courthouse and everybody just basically has like a yard sale, but out of their trunk or trailer or whatever they end up having, that because we live out in the country, it's not easy just to have a yard sale. But how fun that they had an area that they swapped books. And so it could be a book Saturday swap once a year. Maybe you tie it to another event. Maybe it is tied to a farmer's market that you have a book swapping day designated. How fun would that be? There's so much creativity where you can get new inventory, but you can also let others enjoy. I think books are meant to be read and not collect dust, my opinion. And I'm guilty. I have books I have not read. They're on the to-do list. Helping my friend declutter, we talked about a paper bag, and it was like zebra print. And she got stumped on that bag. And I said, what's the value in this bag? Because we can appreciate the beautiful print, but it doesn't mean we have to own it. Now, I am guilty too of seeing something saying, oh, I need that. But guess what? I've had immediate buyer's remorse. And that comes from, I should have said, oh, it's so pretty. I can appreciate it in the store, but not have to bring it home with me. So that is a big mind shift. So it's not just about taking care of the things you have in your home, but really challenging yourself to what you are going to bring into your home. I also say, if you shop, you buy. So maybe we shouldn't shop so much. Is that controversial? Especially when you've spent decades shopping and appreciating things and thrifting or antiquing, and now all of a sudden you're at a stage of your life that you really don't need anything. Want versus need. That is a huge, huge shift. We can appreciate the way they look in the store and not need them in our home. That's no fun. But how do we replace our time? What else interests you? Pickleball, playing dominoes, a bridge club, a book club. You know, what else can we do? It does not have to be shopping. I know. You do you, but if you must shop, then think about one in, one out method. If you bring something in, what can you take out? And maybe that's how you can help control your inventory and keep your place fresh if it's something like decor, and not just keep adding to and not taking away. Most of this are things I have talked about in other videos, but I do just like that there's a little twist on some of them, or just reinforces some of the stuff that we've already talked about. One of my favorite ideas from her book is the throwaway box. And for reference, it's on page 90. So basically, maybe it's sentimental things to you that after you are gone, that if a family member comes upon the box marked throwaway, they know they don't have to spend their time going through it. They can simply just trash it. It's one less thing for them to handle. So I'll give you some examples. Maybe it is your third grade report card. Maybe it is a newspaper article that you were in. Maybe it is love letter cards that are personal to you, but you don't really want others to have it or share it. Have this throwaway box and say, this was important while I was alive, but you don't have to waste your energy on it and trash it. I think that's an awesome idea. So out of reading this, that was the one thing that really stuck out to me as a new idea to implement. Kudos to her with that specific idea. We'll end our thoughts with that throwaway box. I'm decluttering on a regular basis. This is a lifelong effort. It's not a one and done. We constantly bring things in, so there should be a constant of things going out. So I hope this was helpful to you. I will say that there is absolute value in buying this and reading it. It is a super quick read. It gives you a different perspective, a different country, and I just touched on the very, very few highlights that spoke to me. Either already do, or it reinforces that it actually works. It works. And half of the battle is just taking time to do it and making sure you're having fun while you're doing it. Let me know in the comments below if there was one item or two that I highlighted that you can relate to, whether you're already doing it or if you're going to begin doing it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to close like my dad always closed his voicemail messages.
Hi, it's your dad. Bye for now.
And I'd rather give anything that's in blah, blah, blah. I don't like this part. I'm going to skip it.